Hey guys, it's Frank from Cruising with Wheels, and today I'm going to bring you a recipe that I have been making for over 50 years. That's right. Today we're going to make tuna noodle casserole right here, right now for you in my Frank's Cooking Corner. Now I have to tell you, I have absolutely no idea or memory where I got this recipe. Isn't that crazy? But I've been making it for over 50 years. Yep. Now, when my sister and I were growing up, you know, my mom, she was a single mom raising 2 kids. And, you know, she was out working. So on Saturdays, my sister and I would have to do the grocery shopping. Now, we were probably like, 8, 9, 10 years old. My sister and I are only 1 year apart. And my dad would come and pick us up every Saturday morning about 8, 8:30, and he would take us to the grocery store, and he would sit in the car, and my sister and I, 2 little kids, would go in and we would do the shopping. We would have a list. My mother would have given us some cash. And I want to know, all you guys out there, people that are my age. I'm going to be 62 next month. So do any of you guys remember the little clickers that you would take to the grocery store? And it would have, I think it would have like 4 buttons. One for like, it would add the pennies and the dimes and the quarters and you would just click it. So if something was like 39 cents, you would click the penny one 9 times and the dime one 3 times for 39. Do you guys remember that? Well, that's what we used to use. There were no calculators back then in our time. It was unheard of. So we would go grocery shopping. Then he would take us home and we would put the groceries away and I would make tuna noodle casserole. Again, I have no idea where I got this recipe from, but it has stayed with me for over half a century. And my sister and I would eat the entire casserole. Could you believe it? Yep, and we'd be eating it like early in the morning. I mean, it was kind of crazy because we would be home, and like by 11:30, we're stuffing our faces with tuna noodle casserole. I wonder if that's why I was so fat. I mean, I was a fat kid. It had to be. Eating giant casseroles of tuna noodle casserole every Saturday morning. Of course, my sister was as skinny as a string bean. What's up with that? I don't know. But I want to tell you that I love this recipe, and you have to make it according to the recipe I made, or it's not going to be the same, because it takes Campbell's golden mushroom soup. Sorry, you can't substitute cream of mushroom soup. It ain't going to work. And you have to use solid white albacore tuna, not that chunk light mush. If you don't follow this recipe, you are doing yourself a disservice, and you are just slamming my secret family recipe, for which I will not be forgiving. So, let me tell you what you're going to need. For this recipe, you will need 3 6-ounce cans of solid white albacore tuna in water, 2 10.5-ounce cans of Campbell's golden mushroom soup, 2 cups of milk, 16-ounce package of white extra sharp cheddar cheese, 18-ounce package of extra wide egg noodles, 1/2 to 1 cup of seasoned Italian breadcrumbs, 2 large cooking pots, 1 large baking casserole dish. This recipe is so easy, it's so fast to make, and you're only dealing with 2 pots and 1 casserole. You've got your 1 pot to do the tuna soup sauce in, and then you've got the other pot that you're cooking your noodles. You bring it all together into a casserole, and in the oven it goes. And within less than an hour, you're having a great meal. So, let's get started putting this all together. Okay, well, the first thing I did was I got everything laid out on the counter. These are all the ingredients I'm going to need. And I got to do a little prep work. And the first thing I need to do is, of course, I need to get the tuna ready. So I've got to get the solid albacore tuna out of the can. I've got to drain the water, get that done, and just kind of get it into a bowl. Then, of course, I've got my sharp cheddar cheese, and I'm going to have to cut those up into chunks and get those ready. 1 pack goes into the sauce, and the other 8-ounce pack gets put on top of the casserole when it goes into the oven. So let me get started and get going with my prep. Okay, we have our cooking pot on the stove, and I have it on low to medium heat. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the 2 cans of golden mushroom soup. So let's get that in first. Now, as I said before, you cannot substitute. You can't substitute. It has to be golden, Campbell's Golden Mushroom Soup. If you use anything else, this recipe is just not going to be what it was meant to be. And you will have destroyed a 50-year-old recipe. How could you do that? So, I'm telling you, this recipe is awesome, and just follow the directions. So, we have the 2 cans in, and now we're going to add the milk. Now, we say, oh, Cece is down there making lots of noise. Cece, honey, please be quiet. Okay, now, 2 cups of milk, and that's the minimum. You might want to add a little more. It depends on how thick your sauce is. But I'm going to start off with the basic 2 cups. There we go. So as this is heating up, just get your whisk and just try to loosen up that thick soup and get it into that milk so you can get a nice, smooth sauce going. Ooh, look at those chunks of mushrooms. Oh gosh, I love the smell of this golden mushroom soup. It's really awesome. So there you go. You got 2 basic ingredients already in the pan. And it was easy. Now, I've already taken 8 ounces of the extra sharp cheddar cheese. I've cut it up in chunks, and we're just going to drop it in. And this is going to melt into the sauce. And you really want to watch this because you don't want anything to stick and burn, which is why I started out with a low to medium heat. So just keep stirring this. And you might want to maybe turn it up a bit, because you want the soup to get hot, because you want the cheese to melt. So we're just going to sit here and keep stirring and get this melted. Oh, that little Cece. I think she's all excited I'm making tuna noodle casserole today. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. I mean, it hasn't been long, and I've been stirring it. The sharp cheddar cheese chunks are pretty much all melted. And again, if you're stirring as you should be, you can feel the bottom of the pan where maybe it's starting to get a little sticky. And that's why you just keep stirring. Well, now that this is all melted, this wonderful, soupy, cheesy sauce, see? It's a little bit there sticking to the paddle. We're going to add our 3 cans of tuna. And as you can see, I drained the water from the can, and I popped them all in this bowl, and I gave them a rough breakup. They're giant chunks. And the reason why you leave them as these big chunks is because once they get into the sauce and you're stirring it and it's getting all nice, thick, and bubbly, they're going to break down a bit. So don't start your tuna all mashed up and shredded to a fine mush as if you were making a tuna fish sandwich. Okay, you want them to be large chunks. And now let's get them into the sauce. I want every little bit of tuna in here. There you go. Now again, as you stir, they're gonna break up. This is a nice thick sauce. And now that it's in there, because this is it, this is everything. This is all you need. Your tuna, your mushroom soup, your milk, and your sharp cheddar cheese. 4 ingredients in your sauce. And remember, you better be listening to me. No substitutes, baby. No. Leave this recipe intact. And now we're going to let it simmer and bubble for about 5 to 10 minutes. Again, please, you need to be constantly stirring. You don't want your tuna fish to stick to the bottom of the pan. And check your heat. Make sure it's on a low simmer. I'm reaching over, and I've got my cover. I'm just going to put my cover on. So it's going to simmer here. And guess what we're going to do now? Yep. We are going to start boiling our egg noodles. So let's get that going. And by the time the noodles are done, this will be done and we'll be ready to continue on. I got the water boiling and I made sure it was salted. And I dropped my 18 ounces of wide egg noodles in. So we're going to get that cooked up. Directions say it'll take about 7 to 9 minutes. But you cook your noodles how you want them, whether you want them al dente or a little more softer. But remember that it is going to cook and bake in the oven. So you might not want to overcook them on the stove because you will get more cooking time in the oven. So we'll let this cook, and we'll get back to you when we're ready to mix it all up. My sauce has been cooking, it is done, and the noodles are nice and tender. So let's drain the noodles and get this casserole put together for a wonderful meeting of the minds and get it into that oven. We're going to bake it 30 to 45 minutes till it's golden brown and bubbly. We're now ready to drain the egg noodles. They cooked for me for about 10 minutes, and I thought they were done enough to do the baking. So now this is the hardest part. Is I swivel over to the right and grab the pot of noodles so I can swivel back to the left and drain them in the sink. Hang on. I'll be right back. Here we go. Okay. Now I always give them a nice little stir. Any water that's in there that's hanging onto my noodles has to go. Okay, there. Now we're ready to get it into the casserole. Okay, final shake, and let's get the noodles in here. All right, those noodles that don't want to come out, too bad. You got a new home. Okay, so there you go. We've got the noodles. Now you see this 18 ounces of noodles, which I think is pretty good for the sauce mixture, because though the noodles don't fill up this casserole dish, you really don't want it to, because you got to get all that sauce. So I'm now going to pour the sauce over the noodles. Here we come. Scrape out. Oh, I just love this smell. You have no idea how much I absolutely love this smell. And I wanted to say, to follow up, when we were doing the sauce on the stove, that I stuck to my 2 cups of milk. And I didn't add any more milk. So that's all I needed. And now we're going to give this a gentle stir, because I want all the noodles to get well coated. There's lots of sauce, lots of noodles, big giant chunks of tuna. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to eat this. And of course I'm going to tell you, you know who's coming over tomorrow? Yep, my mother and sister will be visiting again. And so she knows I'm making this, so you can imagine how excited she is going to be, because I will be sending her home with several care packages for her refrigerator. All right, I think we're done mixing it up. And now I'm going to take the final 8 ounces of the sharp cheddar cheese, and again, I have cut those up in chunks, and I'm going to sprinkle these chunks over the top. Yeah, this is a very, very cheesy recipe. I mean, who doesn't love cheese? I don't know. If you don't, it's kind of crazy. I love cheese, even though I'm lactose intolerant. I don't care. I have to have it. All right, now I'm going to give this a little stir just to kind of get the cheese chunks a little bit driven into my noodles here, so they're not all just blanketly sitting on top. There you go. Well, that was easy. And now that I've done that, I have the final step, which is I'm going to sprinkle 1 cup of Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And you're like, well, why are you doing that? It's kind of crazy. It makes a nice crust on top, a nice seasoned crust. Now, I have a cup here. I don't know if I'm going to use it all. I think I've used about 3/4 of a cup so far. I don't know, maybe that's it. I think that's enough. Yeah, 3/4. But I was glad I filled my cup up just in case I wanted to use more. You may want to use the entire cup, so get the cup ready. And if you feel you got enough on top for a nice crust, well, then be done with it. We are now ready to get this into the oven. And there it is. Preheated oven, 350 degrees. We are going to bake this 30 to 45 minutes. You'll know when it's ready because it'll be bubbly, 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 and your top will be nice. You'll have a nice golden crust. And you'll know it is ready to take out, and it is going to be delicious. So let's get this oven door closed. And let's get it baking. Well, there it is. 45 minutes baking in the oven, and it is done. And you can see we pulled it out, and it's still bubbling away. I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. Let it settle. I mean, nobody wants to eat it and burn their mouth, so let's give it a rest. Then we'll spoon it up, and we'll have the best meal we've ever had. Well, that didn't take long at all. And let me tell you, I've got an awesome plate of tuna noodle casserole. I can't wait to eat it. My entire kitchen smells of tuna noodle casserole, and I haven't had that experience for a long, long time. Yep, wait till my mother and sister come over tomorrow because she absolutely loves it. And I'm going to be putting several care packages for her to take home. My mom, not so much. My mother doesn't eat anything with a sauce on it. She gives that a thumbs down. She's plain Jane, as we call her. So I want to thank all of you for joining me today and for letting me bring you what has been an iconic recipe from my family to you. Remember, when you're not cooking up a storm in the kitchen and you're sailing out on the high seas, always remember to travel safe and cruise often.